YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back with another record predictions video. I'm going game by game for every single NFL team, and this video for the Washington Redskins. This is the last of the NFC East. We're going to go back to the AFC side, do the North, and we'll come back to the NFC North, and so on. We're going to get through these, and then we'll start with playoff predictions. And you're going to want to follow our Twitter because once I get through in a division, so this is the last of the NFC East, you guys will then vote. There's going to be a poll on Twitter who will win that division. We're going to do that for all the divisions, of course. We're going to circle back. You guys will vote for the wild cards, and then we'll make playoffs out of it, and we're going to make a video out of this whole thing, so you guys will kind of just be involved. It's not just me making a prediction, so it's going to be very cool. You're going to want to follow that Twitter for that reason. And that 50K subscriber goal, we're getting really, really close, so close. So I really appreciate the support. Please subscribe to both of our channels. Any link that you need to find us elsewhere will be in the link in the description, in the comments, as well as our podcast. Really enjoying making that. It's fairly new, so check it out. For these videos, I'm using playoffpredictors.com. You can make your own predictions game by game, and then just type them into the comments. I would like to see a bunch of different maybe Redskins fans, or it doesn't have to be Redskins fans, and just kind of compare everyone and see kind of where the average is at. That's always cool for all these videos. Breaking down the Redskins really quick, it's a tough team to predict because a lot of people predict him at the bottom of the league. Towards the bottom of the league. And I could see that, but I also can see them being a pretty sneaky team because you look at this defense, it's a pretty damn good defense with Ron Rivera as the coach with his, great defensive mind. I mean, the pass rush should be lights out, and that's the key to defenses. That is the key in today's game. Having Ryan Kerrigan, Montez Sweat, who I liked a lot, and he was kind of a guy that, maybe started off a little slow, but he had a pretty good rookie year and a guy that's really got the potential. And now you had Chase Young, one of the better pass rush prospects in quite some time. And then the D-line, which I think people sleep on. People just think the pass rush is going to be good, but what about from the D-line? Jonathan Allen is just really getting going. We know how good he is. Daron Payne, I think, is one of the better nose tackles to hold down. You could say, do you have the pass rush? Can you stop the run? A guy like Daron Payne can definitely stop the run from the nose tackle position, but he also gets interior pressure as well. And Matt Ioannidis gets some good pressure from the D-line as well. And then the rest of the defense has some playmakers here and there. I think the pass rush, will really help the rest of the defense. And you got some playmakers, guys that, can definitely get their hands on the ball. I think a guy like Landon Collins, I think, another year with the Redskins, I think he can be big. He's a guy that's going to play in the box a lot, and I think he'd be a big factor, especially with who's around him up there in the box, and in front of him. I think he'd be a pretty big factor. In the offense, it's really about the offense getting going. They got a pretty good running back room. Maybe we'll see some Bryce Love this year, perhaps. It's just about staying healthy. You add Antonio Gibson, who can be a part of that running back room, but also that the receiver room as well. And I believe that Haskins can take that step. I think people judge right when he got thrown in there. Don't forget he got thrown into a pretty bad situation that never goes well for quarterbacks. And I think his first game threw about 3 interceptions. He's throwing interceptions right away. But then you go back and look to when he kind of got settled in, and he started to get going a little bit. Was it great? No. But, getting thrown into a bad situation, how you started playing pretty well. And people kind of, just look at the stats and just that's it. And that's not right to me. So he could get going. This could be a sneaky team, but it's mainly their defense that is going to win games for them. Week 1 against the Eagles. They could pull this one off. Week 1, definitely has some random things happening. Starting Week 1 at home, pretty good. I think that their pass rush could be a factor in this game. It could be a factor. It could be a factor every single week. I'm going to go with the Eagles, though. The Eagles are a team when they're healthy. We know how good they are, and we know they'll be fully healthy in Week 1. So that's a really good team, but that could go either way. At Arizona, Cardinals, I think, will be a pretty sneaky good team. A lot of offense here. You can really affect any quarterback really with pass rush and slow them down. But Kyler Murray's, one quarterback that's, he's going to get away at times, and he's going to make those big plays either with his feet or with his feet and his arm, throwing on the run. So this is, that's one of those teams where you want to really have a built secondary for. The Cardinals at home get them. Redskins, Browns, one I'm back and forth on. Because I think the pass rush of the Redskins could throw off Baker kind of like it did last year. Their offensive line did get better, though. But it's still not the great offensive line. Nowhere near a good offensive line still. So the Redskins' pass rush could could factor in. I also think the Browns' defense could factor into this game. I also think the Browns will probably be a team that's better in the early half of the year. So being in Cleveland, I'm going to go with the Browns. So it's a tough start here. Then you got the Ravens, which that's another task. Yeah, you can get pressure and win games with that, but Lamar Jackson is not a guy that you're going to beat with pure only that. So a bad start, 0-4. But evaluating their roster and their defense, I think they're better than an 0-4 team. And they bounce back, get a good win here finally and take down the Rams. I think the pressure, the pass rush will definitely be too much here. They can get wins like the Eagles, like the Browns because of that. I think this is one they definitely could get a good matchup for the Redskins here at home. They'll play the Giants. Again, another one of those. Any week, this pass rush could be a factor. I think Saquon Barkley can get going in a game like this. The question is, will the Redskins score enough points? Every week. Can they score enough points? I'm gonna take the Giants at home. We'll have them splitting there, and they get one on the Cowboys. They got a good bye week. This is a good time to have a bye week for an offense that's young and improving. So I think this bye week can actually do wonders here after being 2-5. So I think they come out and they'll beat the Giants. The Lions. Yeah, I think that's a tough matchup in Detroit. The Lions, I don't know if the pass rush affects them enough. Stafford will, he can take can he still take the hits, though, I guess. But he'll still light teams up, even if they're getting good pass rush. If they don't have the strongest secondary. Not saying the Redskins have the weaker, a weak one, but I'll take the Lions there. Then the Redskins get one of the Bengals. The Cowboys home on Thursday night. I'll take the Cowboys. This is one I like to match up for the Redskins. I think the pass rush this late in the season against Big Ben. The Steelers' offensive line, we're so used to being good, really good. And I'm not saying it's going to be bad, but I think it's kind of starting to go on the decline there. It's starting to go south. So I think that pass rush will be a factor there. The Niners will be a tough one for them. And then we have Seattle is another tough one. Yeah, one where they're playing a lot of teams where they're a pass rush team. Their pass rush will determine or just win them games, but they're playing a lot of teams that it's really not, Russell Wilson doesn't lose to elite pass rushes. I mean, he can at times, but he's not going to lose because they just got too much pressure on him. The teams always get pressure on them. That's really not the factor. So the Seahawks there, Ron Rivera will beat his old team against the Panthers at home, and then I have the Eagles ending the season with a win here against the Redskins. So I do have 6-10. I do think their defense, and we'll take a look at best case scenario here. I think their defense could, pull off. I think their defense can pull off some wins here, and we see, 6 of them. I do believe in Haskins. It's just going to take some time. They need more in the receiver unit. Offensive line, I guess, is a question without Trent Williams. So it could be a rough patch here. But then we kind of go back in game. I mean, they can win week 1 against the Eagles. Definitely anything can happen there. They could beat the Browns here. I do have them beating the Rams, which could be a tough one. I do think they'll split against the Giants. I have them splitting against the Cowboys. They could beat the Lions here. Lions are pretty good early in the year, but after the bye week here, the Redskins can definitely get them there. So we see them bumped up to 9-7. Don't forget, I do have them beating the Steelers. Beating the Panthers here, which I think would happen. So I think they could, in 7 teams being in, the playoffs now from the NFC and the AFC, so 7 teams from the NFC here, they could sneak into that 7th seed because of the defense. But do they have enough juice? Do they have enough power in an offensive dominated league to kind of take that next step? I don't think it's quite there yet. I think they are definitely heading in the right direction now. They are definitely heading in the right direction. Looking forward to seeing some of these young players step up. They got a big running back room. Who's going to be playing the most there? I really like Antonio. I like that Antonio Gibson pick. I like how he fits. Might not see a whole bunch of him right away. I think we will in terms of a mixture of receiver running back, but I think that guy's got a bright future. Learning behind Adrian Peterson, having that Turner mind in the offense, that's I think perfect for him. And then kind of building, that chemistry with Haskins, because they're both so young. So I like where the Redskins team's heading. Of course, their defense is heading in the right direction as well. It's a pretty tough schedule, actually. Some of the teams, like I said, they'll win based off pass rush, but they play some teams that, really, there's only a handful of teams that a dominant pass rush won't be the reason they lose. The Seahawks, I think, are that prime example. I think the Cardinals, Yeah, they allowed too much pressure, and that affected them for sure. But Kyler Murray's not going to get sacked a bunch of times. He'll figure out a way around that. So teams like that, so that's kind of a tough draw who they play there. It seems like the Lions too. Like you'll get pressure on Stafford, you'll sack him, you'll throw him off a little bit. But he'll still air it downfield. So I think games like that kind of tough. So we see the range there. I think the range could be pretty big. It could be somewhere around 5 wins to 9 wins. I had the 6-win season, my actual prediction, but this is kind of best case scenario here, and they could sneak in the 7th seed. So let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Well, who you think where they'll win, what their record will be. Your thoughts on the NFC East here. But we're going to go straight to Twitter. We're going to tweet out this poll as soon as this video is up. You guys vote for who wins the division, and again, we'll circle back, and those teams will have a chance to sneak in the wild card according to you guys. So. Yeah, a lot to get to still for these. This is going to be fun getting through all the teams. Then what the videos to come after that will really be cool. So hopefully you can stick with us. Hopefully you can subscribe. Click that like button. Thanks to everyone for the support. Thanks for watching this video. That's going to do it for this one. Goodbye.